Let me tell you about a man named Chad Aleo. Chad Aleo is an entrepreneur, motivational speaker, sales expert, and author of the best-selling book, The Book on High Ticket Sales. His entrepreneurial journey began with a door-to-door sales internship where he knocked on thousands of doors, managed to finance his entire college tuition within a remarkable 12-week selling period. This pivotal experience served as the foundation to becoming a consistent top performer in multiple sales industries and ultimately paving his way in the world of business. As a founder of High Ticket Sales Academy, Chad is dedicated to inspiring and empowering others to overcome their limitations through the life-changing career of remote selling. He used his sales and author career to speak on stage next to, listen to these names, next to John Maxwell, Tim Tebow, football player, ever heard of him? Jenna Kutcher, Gary Vee, Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins. This guy's the man. And that door-to-door internship, him and I did together. Same first year. We've been close ever since. He was a top sales rep at selfpublishing.com, where I was a manager and sales rep alongside of him. He was consistently number one for 5 straight years. He also trains our clients in Speaker Mastermind's Business Accelerator Inner Circle program. It teaches them how to sell properly, how to keep your heart in the right place. Chad's the man. This podcast, I really do think you're going to like. By the way, welcome back to It's a Matter of Speaking, a podcast for leading voices in the industries of health, wealth, and relationships. Today, we talk wealth. We want to reach people that have a voice or a message, probably a message in their head, maybe a voice in their head, message in their head, mastery in their head, mastery in their hearts. We're looking to get it out to the world, and we just don't know how. Either we don't know how to get outside that comfort zone and really trek the uncomfort zone, or we don't know some of the skills to do it. And a big skill that we need is sales. One of the things I talk about with Chad is the fact that sales kind of has a dark art around it. It's seen as sleazy or manipulative. Chad, in his book and in his work, consistently combats this to teach people how to sell the right way, the authentic way. We talk about how a good sales rep only closes 20 to 30% of the time. They hear no often. They're fine with hearing no because they want to help the people that need it. He teaches some skills on how to do that, talks a little bit about his journey. It says that sales is everywhere, to really the importance of having a vision for yourself, but not to be afraid to shift. Chad was in certain careers where the arena just didn't suit his mastery. The passion wasn't there. How to consistently not look at making money as like this freedom, but really as fulfillment. Thinking of the next step in your journey. This conversation with Chad was awesome. I really hope you like it. And if you're curious about the podcast and who it's sponsored by, well, it's sponsored by Speaker Mastermind. Nice ad read segue, Dylan. Over the last 8 years, this company has made it a mission to help its coaching and consulting clients get their authentic message out to the world in hopes of reaching their own desired audience through the power of speaking and business building. Chad's done both. With over 650 clients landing a TEDx talk, hundreds more speaking on virtual and physical stages around the world, Speaker Mastermind has perfected the art of delivering a top-tier message. They also offer programs to build and scale your own high-ticket program and authentically market and sell it to your target audience in order to build a sustainably scaled business. If you have a message in your heart, you have a mastery on your mind, you want some help with it, there are links in the description below. If the links don't work, you can reach out to us at that Instagram page below, because you're going to hear from moi. I'll get back to you. I'll help you. I'll help you figure it out. That's what I'm here for. While you're down there, like this, subscribe, comment what you're learning in today's podcast, what you like, what you don't like, question that you have. I will get back to you, or Chad will get back to you. We want to help this thing. We want to help grow this thing. We want to help people that we can. And the way we do it to build this authentic platform, this authentic momentum, is your help. So if you dig it, let us know by liking and subscribing, or disliking, whatever. Really hope you dig today's episode. It's fun to chat with an old friend, and it's fun to help that person who is crushing it reach other people to help them start to build the dream life for themselves. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Barr, and this is A Matter of Speaking, a podcast for leading voices in the industries of health, wealth, and relationships. Today, we speak in the realm of wealth, and we're speaking with none other than Chad Aleo, founder of High Ticket Sales Academy. He is a sales trainer for companies such as selfpublishing.com and your very own Speaker Mastermind, formerly known as Thought Leader, and others, which we're going to talk about today. Chad Aleo, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks, Dylan. Excited to be here. And oh man, it's full circle because, connecting with Taylor, and of course, you and I have known each other for a long time, and to be able to be on an interview like this, it's going to be a little fun because we know each other, not just as, hey, you're interviewing me, but a little bit we go back. So yeah, this will be a good one.
We just talked 2 days ago just as friends, man. We've been friends for over a decade now. We got into sales together. If you're watching this, I'm going to do my best to make this solely an interview of Chad and not just shoot the shit with a friend. But man, I'm excited to have you, excited to talk sales, excited to talk like sales has a dark art around it is what I'll say often, right? I think a lot of people view sales as sleazy or pushy, as you say in your book, the book on high ticket sales, which we're going to talk about here shortly. They have a different lens of looking at sales, right? So you are kind of going against that. Not only are you telling people sales is a good thing, you're going against this view people have on it. So you are a leading voice in the industry of sales to change the view we have on it. For you, what does it mean to be a leading voice in the industry of sales?
Man, we're kicking it right off. We're going right in.
We're going deep, baby. We're going fucking deep quick.
So a leading voice, I mean, when I think about sales, right, like you said, it's viewed as this manipulative, profit-first mentality, whatever it takes to close the deal. Mm-hmm. And because of that, salespeople get a bad rap. Mm-hmm. And the crazy part is that if you do it the right way, it's actually not that way. Sales can be an amazing career, and it's something you can be proud of and be known as a salesman. And so to be a leading voice in this industry, I want to shift the mentality. I mean, it means a ton for me to, be on a sales call when I sell something, and someone comes to me and says, Chad, thank you so much for being able to give me the confidence to believe in myself, to take action, to buy the thing, to do X, Y, and Z. And if I can teach other people that is what sales is it really is helping at the end of the day. Yes, we just happen to get paid, okay? But at the end of the day, if you're just helping people and that's your focus and you're doing it from a place, where it's not so much about the money, but it's so much more about the person on the other line. I mean, to lead people to have that mentality, that means a lot to me because I believe that sales is the thing that makes the world go around.
Especially living in a capitalist world like we do, right? Like it is like the people that are at the forefront to drive businesses and helping small businesses and startups. And now you're in a scale up as selfpublishing.com's career and a startup with what you're doing with HTSA. It's like you're on both sides of it. What do you get out of it, right? Because clearly I've worked with you long enough to know that you care about helping this person get to a level that they want, the next level, right? But if we could get a little selfish, like what do you get out of being that voice for other people?
I think there's a fulfillment when people tell me, Chad, I don't feel like I am pushing people and making them feel uncomfortable to make a decision. Mm-hmm. Because that's when you sell the right way. I go back to growing up, and we can all relate to this, right? We want to go do something really, really bad, go hang out with our friends. Mom and dad are telling us, no, you can't do it. No. And we start to think, how could they let me do it? What are the things that I could do for them that would make them feel more excited to let me go do X, Y, Z? Even though I'm not asking for money, I'm just asking to do something. I'm selling an opportunity or whatever. If we think about it in that realm of what can I do for that person so that they can do something that I want them to do, I mean, it's so fun. It's just it's a great place to be in. And when people come to me and tell me that, Chad, I feel like I'm selling with the service mindset, I don't feel like I'm selling at all. Like that is the ultimate win, because you shouldn't, especially when people come to you. If you're in the high ticket industry, they're coming to you because they need your help.
Yeah. I think never be nervous when your mind is on service. That's something that you and I go back with.
For years.
No, but I really do wish people that are listening to this today, because again, it could you hear the word sales and it can be easy to tune out. Like someone that's looking to get outside their comfort zone, looking to start something new. Sales is going to be every part of the process. Of course, selling people to bring into what you're doing. Of course, selling people on your message, selling people on your idea, selling yourself when you start doubting yourself. That's what I really hope to get out of today's podcast. I always love starting with the journey, though, in mind. Like stories shape time. So I love to understand people's stories and where they began. So let's kind of start with not when you were born, but your story in sales. How did you get started in sales? I'm pretty sure it was the same as me, but it could have went back further than that. How did you get started in sales?
Don't steal the reveal. So,
but Chad has a book, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
Yep, there you go. It's when I think of like getting started in sales, we could say, hey, lemonade stand. We could say, hey, I sold not Girl Scout cookies, Boy Scout stuff.
Popcorn.
Okay.
Popcorn.
Right. Popcorn. Boom. Okay. There's an element of selling there. I think we've all sold at some point. We just don't realize it because we're not thinking of it. We think sales is the exchange of money. But like Dylan says, reminder, we're always selling ourselves. We're always selling to do something else. We're always trying to get someone else to do something that we want to do, X, Y, Z. So whether you're exchanging for cash, you're always selling. Mm-hmm. Just be more aware of that. But really where I started in sales, this is what's fun. Dylan and I actually did start at the same time. I was a college student and I was recruited and I was like to do an internship. And I felt so excited because I was, in college, they're like, you got to get that summer internship. And I finally got an opportunity. And I remember going to my mom and dad. I said, Mom and Dad, I got a summer internship. And they said, Chad, that's fantastic. We're so proud of you. What are you doing? And they're expecting me to say I'm working at Microsoft or I'm working with Herman Miller, some big company, and I'm going to be, a glorified paper pusher. I get to follow the footsteps of some, whatever, owner, CEO. And I said, no, Mom, it's better. I'm going to go sell educational books, door to door. And my dad said, what? No, you're not. What? That's a scam, right? And they're like, what are you talking about? Door to door. Dad, it's really cool. I'm going to be in a whole different state for the summer. I'm going to live in a place I've never been before. I'm going to knock on doors in a neighborhood I've never, ever done. And guess what, Dad? I never even sold anything. It's the best opportunity. And they told me I could make great money doing it. But Dad said, yeah, right. Okay. And that was really, that's what I did. That's how I got into sales. And it's really funny, fast forward through that. Of course, eventually, the person that recruited me came and smoothed over the fears and frustrations of Mom and Dad. And I got to go do this door-to-door sales internship with the Southwestern company, now known as Southwestern Advantage. And I did that for 3 summers. And that's, of course, how I actually met Dylan Barr. We went to the same college. We would have never been friends if we were never sold books door to door. So
God, no, man. And we had complete different tracks coming in. I was like this hippie burnout. And I had like if you remember, I had my hair in like a bandana, knee-high socks. You look nice, clean cut. We both had a similar first summer. You take off in sales after that. But before we get into that, I am curious because us being different coming into this interview to do an internship, going to a different state to knock door to door 70 hours a week. What was the call for you to say yes to something like that? Because you're right. My mom thought I was crazy. My dad thought, he was like, yeah, okay, go do it. My son's doing something. But it's very easy to look at it and be like, what? For you, what was the call to say yes?
It's a really good question. And when I think back to that moment, there's a moment of feeling like, what's next for me? I don't know. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I originally wanted to go to school, be a doctor. And I was like, I'm going to be an orthopedic surgeon because I, tore my ACL playing sports. And I loved what my surgeon, he was a great surgeon that did all this stuff. And then I realized, man, biology, I got in the weed out biology class and I got weeded out.
Me too.
Yep. I was like, this is not what I want to do. And anyways, but there was a moment of, I wanted to challenge myself. I've always been someone that like envisioned, and a lot of you guys that listen to this podcast, like you are a go-getter. You are someone that sees more for yourself, for others. And that was how I've always been wired. Right. And so I think there was this element of, wow, this sounds like something totally different. And don't get me wrong. There was someone that mentioned, hey, Chad, you can make great money, but you're going to learn something about yourself and who you really are. And I think I was at a moment in my life as a sophomore in college where I was still trying to discover who I was. And so to give myself that opportunity to say, okay, let's go figure out who I am. I learned so much about myself, working 80 hours a week, going door to door, getting rejected 95% of the day, but still going to the next door and realizing that, hey, it's part of the game. And no just means next. And that has paved a lot of the success of, I think, where I've just gotten today, starting a business and all these elements, right? Because, we always talk about this and we hear the big gurus talk about, rejection. It's don't let it, it doesn't mean failure, all this stuff. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means keep going, right? It just means you learn something. And so that's really the core that came from all that.
Saying things like no means next. I think when we were selling books for a while and then looking back right after, it's like, well, that seems just like do the work. No means next. Keep going, keep going, keep going. But if you do look deeper into it, it's like a really good sales rep is closing 30 to 40% of the time. And I think that
40%.
I was trying to rub your ego a little bit. I thought you were going to go the other way. 20 to 30% is what I would really think. You're getting told no 80% of the time. And being okay with that. I think the mindset of like realizing that salespeople hear no, and they are fine to keep moving on because they have a mindset of like, hey, there's going to be another person I can chat with, and that person could be ready to take a step, and it's on me to give that to them, right? And you talk about starting in door to door, and then everything gets opened up for you. I am curious, right? I know it a little bit, but if you could tell us like what has the journey been like in sales? Like what industries have you now sold in since doing a door-to-door internship in college?
So starting door-to-door, right?
Yep.
Next industry I went into, after I got done doing door-to-door sales, I decided I wanted to go into the corporate world. And I actually did business-to-business sales. Did that for just shy of a year. And I realized that was not the vision of my life. I was more of I want freedom. I don't want to be chained to a desk.
Yep.
And I don't want to be told that I have to clock in at this time and clock out at that time. And so I was like, I have an entrepreneurial spirit. And so I decided to leave that. My dad and my parents, everyone thought I was crazy. Why would you leave this cushy job? And so I started an insurance company, agency, did that for 5 years and built a team. And then the passion wasn't there. So when people do tell you, do something you care about and something that you're passionate about. You can make great money in insurance, but I didn't love what I did. And I knew if I would have kept doing that for probably the next 15 years, it was a get rich for sure industry because it's one of those industries you just kind of add more dirt to the pile. Eventually, that over time, the pile's bigger, right? You're building more clients and you're getting more renewals, yada, yada, yada. That's not, but the passion wasn't there. I said, all right, I gotta find something else. I want to start my own business, but I don't know what I want to do. And I wanted to get in the online space because seemed like that was the hot spot.
Yep.
But someone told me, hey, if you want to learn how to do something, go do it with someone that's doing it successfully. And so I came across this company at the time. Their name was Self-Publishing School, now selfpublishing.com. And I became a high-ticket sales closer. So I had the ability to work from any place in the world, and I helped people write and publish their very first books by helping them take advantage of the opportunity to have a coach help them write and publish a book. And of course, we did that for a large sum of money. And I did that for about 6 years, helped grow that company to 5,000 within 4 years. And that was back to back. And that was really the extent of kind of where I got now, starting High Ticket Sales Academy, building that agency to where we train and place high ticket closers. And without going all into the numbers, had a lot of success at it. And I've had, what do they say? 10,000 hours or something like that is like when you're an expert. I've definitely had 10,000 hours in the sales world. And it's not to say I'm the best ever, but I'm just saying like, man, I really rolled with the punches, right? And there's a lot of failures and successes along that journey. And I really feel confident that I can help someone kind of speed up their journey if they're trying to get better in that industry.
Yeah, it sounds like, starting in a place of door to door, it's like earn your stripes, like get your hands dirty. Then it goes into, like you say, the world of corporate. But if someone's looking to get into sales, or if you're looking to do something, it's like what I'm hearing from you is know the arena you need to thrive. Like you were saying, corporate, punch a clock, you realize that's not for you. I think a lot of people, when you get into sales, it's like, it's okay to hop as you find jobs that aren't a good fit. That's what sales is for, right? You either get poached or you realize something's not good for you. Then you get into a place where you can make good money and live the sales dream that everyone talks about. But the other thing you're saying is you don't have a passion there. So it's not only what arena do I need to operate well in once you have your stripes. This comes after 3 years of you working 80-hour weeks. Sure. Then you have the ability of what arena do I need to be in? Then it's what passion. Then it's you thrive in a place like selfpublishing.com. Their number one sales rep for 5 years running. I know that because we work together there as well. The person that I'm always chasing. And then from there, it's like, hey, I've learned enough to do what I'm passionate about and start to build my own thing. Like, and writing your own book, the book on high ticket sales. I was just reading one of the chapters of what the truth behind all objections. And you talk about procrastination and how everyone comes. It's like people are afraid to look at themselves in a mirror. I think you really humanize sales rather than make it robotic like a lot of people that teach sales do. What has sales, what's the power of sales opened up for you? Like, what if some of the things that you've been able to do because of sales? I mean, you have spoken next to some big names. You've traveled to some cool places. Like, having this skill set, what has it opened up for Chad?
There's an element of freedom. Now, I'm not saying freedom where, hey, you're passive and you can do whatever you want, because I think that word is hoarded out a little bit on the internet. Let's be honest. Yeah. Okay. And so what does that actually mean when I say freedom? Freedom is sales gives you the freedom to, when you master it, you really don't have to think about money, and not the way where it's like, hey, I just spend every dime I have, but you don't have to live in a world where, as long as you're not an overspender, you really don't have to budget. Right. And that's kind of fun. Like if you want to go on a trip or someone says, hey, fly out to Austin for my wedding, there's not this question of, I think we got to say no to that. It's more of we can make it work. Let's just make sure that, boom, 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 boom. And so there's a freedom there of sales. Right. But I think there's also fulfillment. Money's great, but when you really sell something that you are passionate about, and when you believe you're helping someone, this is why I love high ticket sales, is because you're not selling a car because it's more expensive when it's going to get someone from point A to point B. This just like this other car that was $40,000 less, and I'm just selling it to make more money. But man, in the high ticket industry, it's a service, it's a coaching base. Like, even with Thought Leader, it's like you're helping people land TEDx talks. They're trying to get their story out there. And when they finally get an opportunity, and then they go do that thing, they come to you and they thank you. I actually just had a conversation with someone today that said, Chad, thank you so much for helping me just get past my own insecurities. And I needed someone to believe in me. They didn't say, Chad, thanks for taking my money. It's almost like you feel like a glorified, a glorified encourager, right? Yeah. That's paid well.
Do you mind talking about, because I want to talk about what High Ticket Sales Academy is in just a second here, but more of the high ticket industry, because I think you noted something that I just realized I take for granted. I think a lot of people, when they think of sales and people selling from home, they're thinking like telemarketer, who are calling on people that have never heard of them ever. And they're like, who the hell is this? And then that person's trying to sell them something. But people coming to selfpublishing.com want to write a book. People that you're talking to on the phone have heard of you, have researched your company. People coming to Thought Leader, Now Speaker Mastermind, have heard of us. And being able to have someone also in tears, Michael Hunter making his first $60,000 in his first month of Business Accelerator Inner Circle. That guy came to us wanting to build. It's not like we convinced him he should start a business. Could you talk a little bit about what a high ticket company is?
I think that's a great thing for a lot of the listeners on here. And some of you guys here, you know what this is, but the best way to open it up, and I realize that not everybody knows who this person is, but it's probably the person that has the most reach, and we can go the farthest back to, is we can think of Tony Robbins. Okay. Tony Robbins has, of course, these amazing conferences, but then he sells coaching programs, and he sells those for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. And their life coaching, their business coaching, there's leadership coaching. John Maxwell's another big name that's been doing it for years. And so the high ticket industry is really coaching and it's consulting. And there's a lot of people that are in this industry that don't have to be as big as John Maxwell. And they have maybe that's just like a 3-person team. And they were an expert C-level executive, and they want to help middle managers become C-level executives. So they started an offer to help them get there. Shout out Tom. Okay. And it's an amazing that they're able to consult and sell their expertise at a high value dollar, because what they do is going to help that other person. But the fun part is, like Dylan mentioned, so I guess to tie a bow around this, it is consulting, it is coaching, it is maybe an element of a course. But the beautiful part about this industry is that people discover these companies because they're already looking for it. And then they decide to book a call because they say, man, I really need that. And then they get on the phone, and when they talk to a great high ticket salesperson or a closer or whatever, their job is really just to help that person have the confidence to invest in themselves and go after their dream. And so if we compared this, I think this is a great comparison. You think of like an HVAC company. My AC unit goes out. What do you do? Well, you call an HV or AC company or an HVAC company in your area. Maybe you talk to one or two of them, and you know you need it. It's just, hey, who do you like the best, or who do you feel like has the best service? And it doesn't. And for that person selling it to you, it really doesn't feel like a sale because they know you need it.
Yeah, and right. I'll have something where someone's like, hey, where'd you get that cool shirt? Or where'd you get that cool sweatshirt? I'm like, oh, I got, Instagram found me. And I find things, they know what I like. I click on it, I look through it, I understand more, and I purchase it. It's the same thing now with these high ticket companies, except it's a VSL, right? Where someone's telling you about themselves and what they do. People click on those because people are looking for that. It's the beauty that we have in social media now, but they're seeking out these opportunities, and these people are looking to grow their businesses, right? Tom Cox being one of them. Shout out. $100,000 months working at Speaker Mastermind's Business Accelerator program. We're better than you, Tony. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, but can you tell me now a little bit more about High Ticket Sales Academy? So what you're doing with High Ticket Sales Academy, what is it? What do you do? Who do you help?
So High Ticket Sales Academy is really the number one resource for coaches. And I would also say folks that really want to get into remote high ticket sales. And so there's twofold. I mean, the main person that we serve is the average person that says, hey, I want more for my life. I want to get into an industry. I want to sell something that I feel passionate about. And they've heard about remote high ticket sales, remote closing. Maybe that's another term. And they've applied to jobs. They can't get them because they don't have the experience. And so what our company does is we help people build sales systems for their sales reps, for themselves, help them master that process, how to facilitate a conversation to help someone purchase something without feeling sold at all. And so at High Ticket Sales Academy, we're training and we're helping place sales professionals for a lot of these high ticket companies. And it's a really fun industry, and it's a fun, offer to have because, again, people want more. And when I can train them and help them get a new opportunity, they're thanking me because they now have left their job where they felt like they were working 60 hours a week and they're making 3 times the amount of money.
Yeah. And that is one of the things you talk about, people making 3 times more, 5 times more, sometimes some of your clients as much as 10 times more, right? Can you walk through how someone is able to earn more through learning high ticket sales?
So biggest thing is, if we're going to talk about money here, I mean, there's obviously fulfillment, I think, element because you're helping people. But then number 2, there's also you're selling a product that truly is making a difference in someone's life, whether it's a fitness offer, a speaking offer, a coaching offer, a marketing offer, etc. But these high ticket companies, they sell an offer that or a consulting service, let's just say that, for a premium. Usually the lowest I've seen is $2,500, the highest sometimes up to 20, even higher, sometimes up to $100,000. And for someone to make a decision on a product at that price point, you usually have questions and you want to talk to somebody.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be great in the world if we just bought the $10,000 products just like we buy t-shirts online and didn't need to chat with anyone? Man, that'd be so amazing, right? But we don't do that. So the beautiful part is the salesperson, the high ticket closer that we train, help place all this stuff. They're the person that is going to facilitate that conversation, give that person the confidence to invest, purchase, sell, whatever you want to say, and get started with the company or the process that they're selling. And they get paid 10% typically is a good industry starting point. There's, of course, accelerators if you sell more in a month, yada, yada, yada. So if you think about a $10,000 program, Well, you make 10% on that in 1 hour. That's $1,000. It's a pretty good return for your time.
Yeah.
And so that is how you can make great money. But again, you got to understand how to facilitate these calls, because these are people that are already interested. We got to realize that they're also coming to these calls, probably doing a lot of research on you and your company. They're doing a lot of research on other competitors. They just have the confidence to book with you because they think you could be a potential fit. So how do we get that person to a place where they feel absolutely certain that in the next 60 minutes that I want to give you my money and I want to invest your support to help me get to my overarching goal of landing a TED Talk, writing a book, marketing my services for my business, whatever.
Yeah. And I think what a lot of companies out there too, they have even more commission tiers, right? Where you can get up to 17% commission on a 15K sale, and they have enough lead flow with these companies where you're making a sale a day or 2 sales a day, or if you're Chad, 4 sales a day, sometimes 6 sales a day. So that adds up quick, right? You're thinking you're making $1,000 5 times a day, and you have 20 days in a week. Like it can add up quickly. So what I'm hearing here is, and I know I'm explaining this, but I also want to make sure I'm doing justice hearing from you, is someone hears something that Speaker Mastermind is doing, or Tom Cox helping mid-level managers upskill themselves to be C-suite. Someone hears that there's a company like that out there, and they go, oh my gosh, if I could help, I don't know how to do that, but if I could help people make a decision to do that already know who that company is, that would be cool. I just stay at my house and have these cool conversations and help people make a decision. 70% will say no. 20 to 30% will say yes. I would love that, but they don't know the skill of it, right? They then come to High Ticket Sales Academy to say, yo, train me up, show me the arts, give me a shield and sword.
Introduce me to the opportunities, meet me with the companies, right? That kind of thing. Exactly.
And teach the skills so that company wants to say yes to them, right? We've interviewed some of your clients at HTSA coming into it because they love what Speaker Mastermind does. That's what you do. Now, in your training, someone's going to want to feel like, hey, I'm ready. What do you think is the secret for a consistent sales? Like, what is the secret for a closer to be consistent with the sales that they make, in your opinion?
We're going to drop something really heavy for you guys right now.
All right.
I want everyone to take this in, because I really believe this is a game changer. And this isn't even just about sales. I think it's really about anything you want to do in your life and be more consistent on. But anything you are is everything that you are. I love that you're taking notes. Right. Okay, so anything you are is everything you are. And the reason why I say that is because usually high performers are high performers outside of their job. And usually people that are inconsistent in their job, they're probably inconsistent outside of their job. In their personal life. Things just don't add up. And so I want to just remind everyone that it's not just about being the greatest at sales, but it's like, how do I show up and be just the greatest in my life? How do I show up for my spouse versus how do I show up for work? And, do I care about my body? I mean, these are big things. I'm not saying that everyone has to be in immaculate shape to be a great salesperson, but I'll tell you that a lot of these very successful business owners that I've seen, I'm not saying every single one, but a lot of people that are extremely high performers, they're in shape. They go to the gym consistently. They have great families, right? And so, and of course, there are some that don't, okay? But my point is that things bleed in, and maybe you might not notice it in the short term, but if we look back at 3 years and we wonder why someone else has beaten us more often, and we compare, we look at all these things, we might say, I guess there is a place where, I'm jumping from a not as motivated in my personal life to now I'm trying to be the most motivated salesperson in the world. And it's just, the energy is just not the same. And so that's probably the biggest thing. And that all starts with mindset. And the mindset is built up by little victories that give you the confidence in who you really are. So you don't have to put confidence in your external results.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and speaking as someone that isn't in great shape, But what I am taking from it is like consistency in your day to day, right? Because if I feel like when we don't have that consistency, when we don't have that mental fortitude, or our mind's not there, it's you get 80% no's. It's easy to get into our head, and then the 80% comes to 90%, right? Being able to have these passions outside of work, where I might not be super fit, but everything that I do with comics, it's like I have something that I'm consistently moving towards, working towards.
Let's realize one thing too. It's not that Dylan. When you say I'm not super fit, I'm not saying you got to be the Arnold Schwarzenegger, whatever. I mean, but you're not even close to obese. Okay. Right. You definitely watch what you eat. You're someone that, is conscious of that. And you probably go for walks and do all these things with your kid, and which you're a great dad, by the way.
Thank you so much. Shout out Keith.
And your family. Yeah. Shout out Keith. And Morgan is so thankful to have you, but you show up in so many other areas of your life, and just even with your friends. And that bleeds into everything you do. And that's why people really love working with you, is because you show up in work the same way you do in your personal life. Like there's no difference in Dylan.
Yeah.
That's why Dylan's a high performer.
Thank you so much. And you as well. Shout out Abby. Shout out Eloise.
Okay. Eloise, we love you. We love you. You're 12, maybe, hopefully.
When you're 12. Well, in 11 and a half years. No, but it's like, I think having that confidence in your life because you're showing up for the people allows you to show up to any person you're speaking with on a call. And I think it's like a lot of people don't realize, yes, sometimes a sales rep's job is to challenge somebody because, again, they booked a call with you wanting to change and work towards it. And sometimes we get scared and say no, right? Like, yes, a sales rep is going to at times challenge that. But at the end of the day, you say no, they're not going to be like, I hate you. It's okay. You're 70 to 80% of the people that I'll speak with. But I wanted to fight for you. Right. And then move on. And it's okay to say that. And I feel so much better, or have felt when I was in sales, going to that next call because my mind's in the right place, because I'm doing everything I need to. Okay. Last question that I have before we move into the uncomfort zone of the interviews that I do is Speaker Mastermind helps coaches and consultants grow their business, right? And you train them in sales. Why do you feel every coach should learn the art of selling and not just hire a sales rep right away to do it?
So you got to create a system. And when you're ever going to hire anyone to do something, especially in something like sales, they need to see that it's been done before.
Yeah.
You can't just... It's like trying to, you can't try to, just throw someone at it that's good at sales unless it's someone that's built teams and done all these things, which is very difficult to do in a very, very beginning of a company, because it's just, you can't pay them what they're worth. And so it's not worth their time because it's very risky for that person. And so you have to create a system, because you are the leader and you need to be someone that they can follow and give advice to, because guess what? Even if we place you with a closer, even if anyone places you with the closer, guess what? They're still going to have tough days, and they're still not going to make sales sometimes, because remember, the best salespeople close 20%,
right?
30%. The top close higher, but it's one of those things where if you can't tell them what to do and how to do it better and give them advice, or you just go pay a sales manager that's really, really good to do it, then that's another option. But my point is how are you supposed to help this person get better?
Yeah.
And so you need to learn how to do it so you can coach someone on how to do it. And if you can't sell your own offer, I'm sorry, but that's going to be a big challenge because this is you and your program and your product. You should do yourself.
I go as far as saying if you can't sell your own offer, you shouldn't be selling your own. You shouldn't have your own offer. Like, you should have the authenticity to have someone have a conversation with someone to help them make that decision. And if you don't know how to do it and you're like, hey, I think I could get there, but I need to get better at the skill set because I'm passionate about my offer. The best way to do it is to, one, pick up Chad Aleo's book, the book on high ticket sales. I think you're almost at like 500 reviews in less than a year on this book. It's incredible. I talk to people all the time that have read it and they love how you simplify it. Best place to find this is Amazon. We'll put a link in the description below. And then obviously you're on social. Where are the best places for people to find you on social to learn more about high ticket sales?
So you can find us at highticketsalesacademy.com. That's a given. Okay. You can follow me at Chad Aleo. You can also follow me on TikTok. Just type in Chad Aleo. But we also have High Ticket Sales Academy on TikTok as well. And so if you're a TikTok listener, I'm always putting a lot of sales content on there, and that's always a big help. I know I get lots of comments and feedbacks, and a lot of that is send me a message what you want sales advice on. I'll post something on it, because the best content is stuff that comes from the questions I get from people in my DMs.
Yeah, dude. This guy lives and breathes sales in the best way possible, because you keep your heart in the right place and you can talk about it authentically rather than like tactically. Absolutely love that about you. We will put all those links in the description below. Make sure you check them out. And while you're down there, like, subscribe, and give us a comment. Biggest thing that you took away from today's interview, what you like about Chad, what you hate about Chad, what you like about me, and what you hate about me. We are former sales reps and current sales reps. We can take it.
Chad, it was a salesy podcast.
Well, I just felt like I was being sold the whole time. We don't care if you don't like it. You're 80% of the people. No. The last thing I want to end on is you have recently started High Ticket Sales Academy. You were saying earlier, like, hey, I've always wanted to start my own business, but I wanted to learn from someone first. And you did that, and you crushed it in that company. And you took the leap to start High Ticket Sales Academy. You got outside your comfort zone, right? Why did you decide to get outside your comfort zone and really go into creating your own business?
So I believe in myself, and I know what I'm capable of. As many of you that are probably listening that are in that place, like, you have this feeling. We don't talk about intuition a ton, but feeling is a good thing in a world where everyone's like, feeling is irrational and feeling, and but man, if you got something in your gut that's telling you there's more, and that's what I had. And I would rather die trying and this not work out and then say, cool, at least I tried, than think, oh, I could have been, or I could have done X, or I could have. Too many people live in that. I've watched too many interviews of people in their 60s and their 70s say, I wish I would have written that book. I wish I would have done that thing, started that business. I wish I didn't care so much about what people thought about me, because we all die at the end of this anyways. No one really cares, right? And so there's that element of just wanting to live in a potential. Like, I don't know what my potential is unless I try. So, hey, I'm going to try and figure it out.
Why do you think most people don't do it? And they get to a point where they say, man, I wish I would have done this. Like, what in the moment happens where people don't get outside?
They focus too much on what happens after the first step.
Yeah.
Because when you start thinking about starting a business, you go, oh yeah, I want to start a business. Then you start thinking about, oh, then I got to do this, then I got to do that, then I got to do this, and I got to do that. Oh, man, that's a lot more than I thought. Oh, no, yeah, maybe next year. Just like writing a book. All you gotta do is write one sentence and you started a book. How crazy is that? That's not that hard. But people overthink, and I heard this once, and every now and then I do a keynote, and this is one of the things I talk about is we all know what martial arts is, UFC, yes, all those things, right? They have all these different color belts, and there was a famous martial arts teacher. He's trained like some of the greats. I forget his name. I'm sorry if you're watching this. But anyways, very, very prestigious. He's trained like some of the best ever in the world to do it. That won tons of championships. And he's often asked, man, how do people get a black belt? What does it take? What do you have to do to get a black belt? Because that's the most prestigious belt. It means you've passed every single thing, like the best honor ever. He says, you know what? Everyone asks me, what does it take to get there? And the secret is getting the white belt. That means you just got started. Like, you're just like, oh gosh, it just hits you right away. Because you're like, shoot, so dumb, but so true.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of us that has a potential, and we wanted all these things, but we never take the first step.
Chad, man, you're a friend of mine, and you're also someone I'm interviewing, but this has been an awesome podcast. You just answered my last question of what would you tell someone looking to get outside their comfort zone? It's take that first step and stop thinking of the eighth. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're giving love to Chad below. Make sure you're giving him a like, a comment, what you took away from it. Here are some big takeaways that I took today when you saw me looking down. When we're talking about sales, we talk about going against the grain and being okay with it, because sales is everywhere. It's not always just an exchange of money. And really, the other thing I love that you talked about is like having that vision for yourself and then not being afraid to shift it when need be, like in your journey, like knowing that the original arena you were playing in wasn't for you. And then the passion needed to be there, like finding something that lights you up and going towards it. Biggest thing when it comes to you talking about sales, man, which I appreciate and love about you, is every time I say, hey, how can you be successful? And you talk about, making money or having freedom, you always couple it with the fulfillment that it gives you as well. Knowing that if this is something someone wants to go into, it should be about the fulfillment. Doing something you love every single day and not just punching the sales clock. Doing something you truly care about. And if you want to learn the skill to do something you truly care about, you got High Ticket Sales Academy. Anything you are is everything that you are. Making sure that your personal life can reflect in your work life and you're working towards things. And having the ability to believe in yourself. So you can end the day saying, hey, I at least tried. And to not get ahead of yourself. Stop thinking 8 steps ahead. Start just doing that next step. Chad, man, you're a wealth of knowledge. We appreciate having you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
I appreciate it, man. And it's been a pleasure. I love we jammed together. And so thanks again for having me. And I hope to be on here again.